Hello everyone, welcome back to Selenium training. In this session, we are going to see about how to identify elements using XPath. So before that, we will be seeing some introduction on XPath, different types of XPath, how do you identify XPath using ID, class and all. So before this, you just have to be familiar with the basic concepts of how to identify elements using ID, name, class name and all those. If you haven't watched that video, just go to my channel and go to the playlist, and under Selenium you will see different sessions. You'll be seeing it in an order. You'll be seeing everything in an order. So you can see everything is named actually 1 2 3 4. So follow this specific order and try to learn it. So go to these videos, and you can see write your first Selenium program and different basics. So once you are familiar with this concept, then you will be very comfortable in learning this XPath. Okay, so let's start with what is basic XPath definition. So XPath is defined as an XML path. Okay, and XPath is a language. It's a expression language to find elements on a web page. So which will use XML path expressions, and XML path expressions are used even in the HTML pages to find the elements. So whatever we have performed on ID, class name and name, same operations will be performed here using XPath. Okay, so there are two types of XPath. We will switch to a practical example in a while. Just listen carefully. This is very important concept. Without XPath, you cannot achieve your automation. You have to write your dynamic XPath so that you have a quality code. Okay, so what are these types of XPath? So just understand the basic thing, then I will show you in practical by showing you one HTML DOM structure, and I'll relate it to absolute XPath and relate it to XPath. So what is this absolute XPath? So say this is my source and this is my destination. Okay. So I want to reach my destination to F. My destination is F. So how do I reach that? So I can do in two ways. I can start from A and navigate to B and then to C and then to D and then to E and then to F. So this is one absolute XPath. So you have to navigate to each and every node, right? And what is relative XPath? So this relative XPath is nothing but a partial one. You are not starting from the root element, but here in absolute XPath you are starting from the root element, but in relative XPath you will be starting somewhere in the middle of the middle of the structure. So you can either start from B or C or D. So here I'm starting from D, so it's very easy to traverse. So from D to E and from E to F, this is a relative XPath. Okay, so these are most important in automation to achieve the efficiency or to make your test faster in identifying those elements. Okay, now let's see what is an absolute XPath with the example. So if you have seen here, this is the website or that portal that I am taken from wordpress.com. It's a login page, and if you observe here, we want to identify an element of email address. This is the text box that we want to identify. So the right side you see is the DOM structure. So if you carefully observe the DOM structure, it starts from HTML and then head and then body, right? So inside body all our elements exist, right, as we have discussed in previous session. So now I can input my text, or I can find this element in two ways. One is using absolute XPath and other one is relative XPath. So if you observe carefully, absolute XPath, it starts with slash, a single slash, and then HTML and then the body, and then you can see div, and again here also we have div, and inside the div we have one more div. Okay, so that way you will be traversing to this input text box in order, in a sequential order, starting from the root node, and then it comes to the input. You can see here this is the input. So you need not specify any attribute name or value name. You have just an input, So this is the absolute XPath. If you write this absolute XPath, you can find out this element. So there is other way also to identify this, okay, using relative XPath. So if you observe here, observe carefully. This is the syntax. We will come to the syntax part in the next in upcoming or in few seconds. So you can see here we have slash slash. This is the slashes that you have to use when you use relative XPath, double slash, right? And star stands for any tag name here, input, right? So any tag name, star stands for anything. And here if you observe at the rate id, we have taken at the rate id, and the value is username or email, right? So I have provided username or email as a text here. So this way you can find your relative XPath as well. Okay, so this is one way of finding relative XPath, and there are different ways to find your relative XPath. So why do we choose XPath is to identify the elements using unique element. So if you have a two or more text boxes, you have to differentiate between those text boxes, and if you write your XPath, you will have a strong quality in the code so that it will be static, and it cannot even though the web page structure or design changes, your script will not fail if you write your dynamic XPath in an efficient way. Okay, now let's see what is relative XPath and types and syntaxes. Okay, in this session we are going to cover only basic part. That is, I'm going to give you some practical examples or hands-on on standard and using and or. Okay, we will see these three in this part, and in the next session we will be seeing all these functions related. Okay, so let me switch to Eclipse quickly and then show you some examples related to these three. Okay, so we will be seeing standard syntax and using and or. Okay, okay, let me switch to example. Okay, so I have already created one class to save some time, and I haven't written anything but just the basic 3 lines of code for opening the demo web shop. So let me switch to demo web shop. Okay, demo webshop.tricentis.com. This is the portal that you can use for your automation. So this script will just open the browser. Okay, now we will write our XPath for these identifying these elements using standard procedure. So what is the standard syntax? Slash slash tag name at the rate attribute is equal to value. This is the simple syntax. Okay, now I want to identify, click on register, and I want to identify this first name, last name, and email using standard. Okay, so how to identify these elements? Initially, just right click and click on inspect. Okay, you will be seeing this structure here. Okay, and select on any element, point out here, and press Ctrl F. So if you press Ctrl F, you can see the text box is appearing at the bottom. So you can start writing your XPath here. See, it says find by string selector or XPath, right? You can write your own dynamic XPath. Okay. So what is the syntax that we discussed here? Slash slash tag name at the rate attribute. You have to remember the symbol at the rate, because that is the one which we are using frequently in the XPath. Okay. So let me write. So slash slash stands for, we are saying it's a relative XPath. Okay, and now give the tag name as input. So as soon as I give slash slash input, you can see 1 of 13. That means it has identified 13 elements. But what we need is we have to identify element using unique procedure. Okay, that means that should be unique throughout the code, right? So I'll be giving uh, square bracket at the rate. So I'm going to choose this ID. You can choose any attribute, but you have to choose which is unique, and it will not duplicate. Okay, I'm choosing ID. Okay, is equal to, so single quotes, I'll be giving this first name. Okay, and close the square bracket. So if you observe, you have to give single quotes, not double quotes. If you give double quotes, then it might get error. Okay, so yeah, you can use double quotes also. That's not an issue. But there are some places where you have to use single quotes. We will discuss that later. So for now, use single quotes. Okay. Now your element is identified uniquely. Okay. Now let me take this in an XPath. Okay. So driver dot find element of by dot X path. So if you see here, when you type XP, it will give you XPath. Okay, just simply copy this text, okay, which you have already written, and place it in double quotes. Place it in double quotes, whatever the expression you have written, and just click dot. Again, send keys off. So we have to send something. Okay, test 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I'm going to give. And next, let's identify the last name. Okay, now we will use the procedure of and, okay, in identifying this last name. So how do we do that? Same syntax. See, you don't have to do anything. It's the same syntax. So let us take for the last name, right? So write your standard syntax slash slash input at the rate id is equal to single quotes, select this last name. So I'm selecting last name. Okay, so for using and operator, you can use and, which is a small, and then I am also trying to have name also for safe side. Okay, so I will be giving at the rate name is equal to, and I will be selecting this last name from the name attribute, and I will be giving here and close the square bracket. So you can see now you have a unique element identified, right? So that means if you use two attributes here, it is safe. So that means you have a double check on your XPath, and it's not going to disturb. That's the main motive of using AND operator. Okay. Now let's take this operator and let's use in our code. Okay. Driver dot find element of by dot XPath of, and in a double quotes paste your XPath dot send keys of last name. I'll give as 3456. Okay. I'll give 3456. Now let me choose the or operator. Okay, so I'll be choosing email address. So let me choose email address and let me write a same XPath. So don't try to do copy paste for each one. Just try to write your own XPath so that you will get some hands-on experience. Okay, I'm just typing it input at the rate. So what is my email attributes? I have ID, and I have name, and I have data val required as well. So I'll be taking ID and name. Okay. So at the rate ID is equal to, so email, and now I'll be using or operator, which is small case, and then name is equal to, even the name is also an email, right? If you observe here, email name is equal to email. So I'll take this email, close the single quote, and close the square bracket. See now, so or operator is used in a small case, and you are just adding or operator. That's all. You can add this syntax, and this is the basic syntax only, but you are adding and or operators. Okay, let me copy this. So driver dot find element of by dot xpath of. Okay, so let me copy this and paste it here. Dot send keys of, I'll be giving test knowledge share at gmail.com, some email address. Okay, now let me identify the same others as well. So password. So you can use absolute XPath also. You can see, you can right click on this, you can copy. You have so many copy types of things here. You can see copy XPath, copy full XPath, copy styles. But I would prefer to write my own XPath rather than copying. So these may be not valid sometimes when the web page or web design is changed. So I request you to write your own XPaths. Now what we'll do is, just for an example to show you, we will write an absolute XPath. Okay, I'll just simply say copy XPath, and let's see how it is copied. See, it has a complete structure, right? Now let me choose that only. So driver dot find element of by dot xpath of, okay, let me copy everything here. Okay, dot, it's a password, right? So I'm sending a password. It's 1 2 1 2 3 4 5, right? Now let me take confirm password as well. So let me take this element and again right click, copy. Now we will use copy XPath, not copy full XPath, just we will use copy XPath. So I'll click on copy XPath and just paste it here and see what it pasted. See, it pasted the, you are using the help of the Chrome already inbuilt features to take the relative XPath. You can either write your own relative XPath, or you can copy from the inbuilt feature of the inspector. Okay, now I'll write driver dot find element of by dot XPath of, okay, so I'll be using this relative XPath. Control X, paste here. So when you paste, if you see these slashes, that's not an issue, you can leave it there. But if you observe, it has come up with the double quotes, right, when we copy paste, so you can use it, no problem. So dot send keys of, so I have to use same password, so 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so now let me click on register button here, register. So let me write my own XPath now. So slash input. Okay, so let me take a name here, or I can take class as well. So let me take class. Okay, it has this one, right? So at the rate class is equal to, let me completely copy this and paste it here. Okay, I have taken class. You can take anything. Okay, so let me write driver dot find element of by dot xpath of, okay, dot just click, right? We just wanted to click it, that's it. So control S. Now we have to identify mail also, so we will do end-to-end registration. Let me find this gender radio button as well. So let me take input at the rate id is equal to, let me copy this gender male and paste it here. So let me use it at the beginning. Okay, driver dot find element of by dot xpath of, write your expression, copy paste here, dot click, we just need to click the radio button, right? So dot, sorry, dot click. Okay, done. We have identified all the elements using XPath. Okay, by using and operator or operator and standard syntax, right? Now let me write here some method, registration successful. Okay, and let me take this and paste it here and say this registration XPath examples registration page. Okay, so I'll be pasting this code in the description box. You can copy paste from there and do some practice, and you can take another web portals as well and do some exercise so that you will be familiar and get some hands on. Okay, now let me run this program. Okay, so let me click this button and let's see. So these XPaths are very important in automation. You have to learn in phase by phase. That's the reason I'm giving you some one part in one session and other part in other session, so that you will get some hands-on experience. Okay, so let's see this. It's opening a Chrome browser. Its internet is bit slow. So it's launching the web page and it will maximize. So okay, it will not maximize because I haven't written that. I forgot to write that. So okay, we have done some mistake here. Okay, we did not click on register, right? So we'll click this register button and we will give this path directly. Okay, so I'll change this path here. Okay, now let me run. So let me also write a maximize driver dot manage dot driver dot. Okay, we'll paste from here. Driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. Okay, now let me run this program. Run as Java application. So it will directly launch the registered page and it will maximize and it will input all the values. Okay, see the password must have at least 6 characters. Okay, so that's the error message we got. So we can even capture this error message and check whether this error message is valid and as per the expected text or not. We will see that in the next session. So we will be using the XPath only to find this element. Okay, so now we will change this to 6 characters and run this again. So it's launching the registration page and the page is maximized and it is so see your registration is successful and you can see the console as well. It has printed everything. So this is all about basic syntaxes that we learn now. So we have used the standard and we used an AND operator and we used OR operator. So we have seen these three to for the time constraints. So just keep practicing these three basic syntaxes and in the next session we will see all these five function related, which is pretty much similar to cascading style sheets. I mean, which is pretty much similar to CSS selectors that we used. So if you haven't watched that video, you can just go and watch that CSS selector so that you can easily relate it. So there we used symbols for contain starts with and all, but here we will be using a words, keywords like contain starts with ends with. So we will see with examples of this registration page capturing the error messages. Everything we will see in detail in the next session. Okay, just I'll be giving the code in the description box. You can learn from there or you can copy and use the code and just do some random practices by taking different websites. Okay, different web portals or any other applications. Okay, that's all for now and thank you. Have a nice day.